You can say what you want, but I never been scared. Never been scared. Never been scared.
Welcome to the More Than Sports Podcast, where everyone has a story. On today's episode, I speak with Sanders Scroggins, also known to his clients as Black Bane. Sanders started his high school football career at Booker T. Washington High School in Shreveport, Louisiana. He later transferred to Southwood High School during his sophomore year. Sanders played the positions of wide receiver and strong safety while playing for the Cowboys. After high school, Sanders later went on to join the Demon Deacons at Northwestern State University in Natchitoches, Louisiana. After leaving Northwestern, Sanders became a personal trainer and opened his own fitness center called Train with the Black Bane. Soon after opening his fitness center, Sanders wanted his clients to have a healthy alternative, so he also opened a health tea and shake location called Synergy Reloaded. We have a lot to unpack in this episode, so thanks for joining. Now let's start the conversation. All right, welcome to the More Than Sports Podcast, man. I'm here with that guy, that dude, the Black Bane. What else we got? The Enforcer.
The Enforcer was 4'5".
We got Sanders Scroggins, man. Man, welcome, man.
What's up?
Appreciate you taking some time out, man. We got a lot to get into. So man, let's hop into it, man. I know you got your San Francisco 49ers hat on there, man. So you have anybody on that team, man, that you kind of modeled your game after whenever you started playing football?
Dude, when I started playing football, man, my biggest role model was Jerry Rice. It was, you couldn't do no wrong when it came down to Jerry Rice, man. So that's who playing receiver or whatever, that's who I wanted to be, man. That was it. Like growing up in the 90s or whatever, man, Jerry Rice was everything. And
Right.
So when I started playing, I wanted my number to be 80. So bad. I wanted my number to be 80.
All right.
And so when I was at junior high or whatever, I remember, man, I was 85. And I was like, man, I don't like this number here, but I'll make it work. So then when I got to Booker T or whatever, I wanted 80 so bad when I was at Booker T. Got to Southwood. They gave me 49. And at Southwood, man, they just give you a damn number. So but the crazy part about it was 4'5" had 80. And I'm like, man, my best friend got my number on. Like, say, fam, they swap numbers, man. He wouldn't get that number for nothing in the world, man. And then he was playing cornerback. I'm like, dude, you playing cornerback with number 80, fam. Let me get that number, man. So, but nah, man, like I say, that was it, man. I was diehard and still is diehard 49er fan, fam.
Okay. So how did you first get into like playing sports? Like how did you get started?
Where I grew up at, man, it was either play sports or sell dope. One of the two. It wasn't no in between. So growing up in Allendale, man, it was like, what you gonna do? If you play sports, then you gotta pass. Wasn't nobody gonna mess with you. You know what I'm saying? And we played sports all day, sun up, sun down. We played basketball, football, the whole nine. And I just kind of like took to football and just loved everything about it. And so when I got to J.S. Clark, got to middle school, I was like, well, man, I'm gonna try this thing out and try to do it, on a more organized level. And so I think my seventh grade year, 7th to 8th grade year or whatever, I started playing at J.S. Clark. And then high school, started playing at Booker T. And then that's when I transferred to my 10th grade year, like that third semester of my 10th grade year, man, transferred to Southwood. And my whole mindset behind playing football for Southwood is that I'm playing receiver. They going to throw the ball. I'm coming from Booker T where they pretty much ran the ball the whole time. And so I'm sitting down with my brother and I'm talking to my brother and I'm like, dude, they going to throw the ball. I'm going to finally get a chance. Like, I'm going to get some shine.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess even when you were in middle school, like you said, you were at Jazz Clark. You was playing receiver. You was playing receiver there. Like were they?
Playing receiver there.
Were they throwing the ball there, or were they just primarily running the ball there?
every once in a while, man, they would throw the ball and run the ball or whatever. But like I said, back then, I don't think that most coaches really knew what they was doing, you know what I'm saying, or really knew nothing about actually throwing the ball. Every once in a while, you know what I'm saying, they'll throw the ball. But I was playing, man, and at the time we had Curvis Sharp. He was on the team with me. He was our
Okay.
quarterback. I don't know if you know Curvis or whatever.
I am. I'm familiar with Curvis.
Yeah, so and Curvis, man, shit, you with Curvis, you mess around, man. The Curvis will turn the Mike Vick on you in a minute. So if it's supposed to be a pass, it's gonna be a
It's gonna
run.
be a run.
Yeah, so if he looking for you, you know, but but like I said, my whole mindset behind playing football at Southwood was I'm gonna be playing receiver. I get the opportunity to get some passes thrown my way because I'm thinking predominantly white school or whatever, coming from an all black school, we got a predominantly white school, it's gonna be a different program, you know.
Well, and I guess that's my question. So when you decided, or you were looking to make the change, like why Southwood? There was a lot of other schools.
Oh no, I didn't, man. There wasn't no situation where you just choose what school you go to back then, man.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, cause
Man,
you're
look,
at BT,
ma-
you're at
mama
BT, and
got
now okay,
mama got a better job, making
okay,
more
there we go.
money. She moved us out of the projects, out of the hood, all the way out, way out, away, away from the hood, man. Like she moved us out here to Cockwood Road, and now I'm going to
Okay,
Southwood. So to be honest with you, the first 3 weeks after I got enrolled in Southwood, I ain't even go to school. Like my mama had to threaten to call the police to get me to go to school because I wasn't going. I was
okay.
sneaking going back to Allendale, going back to the projects to hang out with my homeboys. My mama literally pulled a gun on me, man, and told me either you gonna go to school or you gonna get the hell out of my house, and threatened to call the police. So, like I
That sounds about
said,
right.
my like the first 3 weeks of me being enrolled at Southwood, I didn't go. And when I finally went, like I said, the first person I met when I got to Southwood, because my mindset about Southwood was just totally different. You gotta understand, I'm coming from somewhere where majority of the cats over there is hood
Yeah,
twenty
they
four
weren't,
seven.
and they wasn't going to class anyway. So
Yeah, it's hood
right,
24/7. And so at Southwood, it was a totally different atmosphere. It was a culture shock, man. Like, I ain't never had no white teachers before. I had never been around white people before. It was just different. So I looked at a lot of the cats over there like, man, these cats are corny as hell. Like, man, come on, bro. I was actually talking to one of my homeboys earlier today, just talking about like the different styles and the different cultures and how Shreveport, you could tell back in the '90s how you could tell what school somebody went to just by how they dressed. I remember, man, I'm over at Booker T and we was big on Eastland boots or whatever,
Eastland,
and
right?
then I get to Southwood and they wearing Tims.
They
I'm
teams,
like,
right,
man, hold on, bro, I don't want no Tims. So it was just a difference, man. It was a difference. And
right. But even like during your freshman year at BT, like how did that go? Like you came in playing on the freshman team, you was that wide receiver. Like how did you feel like you performed in?
everything was good then. I think that everything was good then because I'm playing with cats that I grew up with. And it's, neighborhood cats or whatever, man. So and on the freshman team, man, you can do whatever. You ain't really, it's almost like playing Pop Warner just at a, you're a little bit older.
Right.
So, they were throwing the ball and then, the receiver or whatever, man, they run little reverses and stuff like that for you and stuff like that. And, so it was all fun. It was just like playing, playing tackle in the neighborhood, you know. So that was the thing with that. It it felt good because I mean you still having fun,
Right.
you know.
Well, and then like kind of, like how did y'all perform that year though? Your freshman year, did y'all do okay?
Yeah, we did okay. We did pretty
Okay.
good, man. And to be honest with you, I can't even remember what our record was,
Right.
but we did
And
pretty.
did Curvis come over there from Jazz Clark, or did y'all have somebody else at QB?
Nah, we had somebody else at QB
Okay.
then. What? Because I'm actually a year, maybe like a year or two older than Curvis. Yeah, so he wasn't
Okay.
there. He wasn't there my freshman year at Booker T.
All right. And then like your sophomore year, obviously you came in playing on the JV squad.
Sophomore year, I came in, and I didn't really play that much at Booker T my sophomore year, and then we transferred. I transferred, came to Southwood or whatever, and
You
so
transferred during the season, or was that after the season?
it was after season. This is after
Okay.
the season, yeah.
Mhm.
And so,
Yeah, because I know I went to school. Because I went to Linwood, and a bunch
mhm,
of those guys they were zoned to go to BT. So a lot of the guys I played with at Linwood ended up going to BT, um, and they were some good players. So I don't think they ended up playing much, just because of neighborhood and stuff kind of got to them. But
mhm.
Eric and Charles Dotson
Yeah, and
was
they
yeah
played at Booker T when I was done. Charles was the
right.
quarterback.
Right. So those are two guys I went to
Yeah,
middle school with, man, and they were good athletes,
them
man.
boys
Really
that was
good athletes.
cold.
Yeah, really good athletes, man. So that's what I was thinking when you were talking about that time at BT. I was like, yeah, that's been around the same time, the
But
Dotson,
they was there. Yeah, they
yeah,
was
that they
there.
were there. So I know they were solid, man, but
Mm-hmm.
okay. All right, so
Yeah.
like I say, sophomore year kind of runs through. Then obviously you like to say mom gets the better job, man. You guys are coming out there. Like, did you even watch or had even seen any games with Southwood, or even knew what kind of offense they ran? Because like I said, you had said earlier, you was like, well, the offense about to be
None,
opened up. The offense about to be
none,
opened up. I was like, man,
none
you must didn't watch any
whatsoever.
game.
None whatsoever. I ain't see nothing outside of Booker T. Nothing. I ain't go to no games outside of Booker T, man. This. I was coming from all black to lily white, and so all I knew was these white boys throwing this football, man. In my mind, that's what I thought. These white boys throwing this football, But that was the only thing that actually got me to going to class and going to school because, what I'm saying, man, they couldn't, at that time, man, they couldn't reach me. I really just wanted to be back in the hood, hanging out with my
Mm,
homies and just kicking it, man. And so it was me and my brother had like a little heart to heart, and he was like, man, you might well go ahead and play football and stay out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because you keep running over there, you're going to end up like some of them cats over there. You're going to end up dead or in jail. Or you're going to end up in some trouble you can't get out of, man. So why don't you just go and buckle down? You got the rest of this year and 2 more years after that. You graduate. Hopefully, you play football. Somebody see you. You go to a good college or whatever. You play ball in college. So I just felt like Southwood was such a big change from Booker T and such a big. At the
mm,
time, it was just something totally different from what I was accustomed to. So I'm like, okay, well, and over here at this school, they running the ball more, but they had the athletes to do that. Because
right.
when you got, Curvis Sharp, you got, Charles, Eric Dotson, them cat stuff, and the coaches or whatever over there, man, and it ain't no knock on them or whatever. It's just that was the culture. That's how it was. It was a run first mentality, you know. And
Right.
so I'm just thinking in my mind, Southwood gotta be different. You know what I'm saying? They gotta be throwing the ball.
Right. So,
And
like, who did you reach out to when you first got to Southwood about coming to play on the team? I mean, obviously, like you said, you were registered. You missed a couple weeks because you just wasn't feeling Southwood. So once you got there and decided to start playing football, who did you reach out to first?
I don't know, man. I think I just decided to just walk on because at the time I didn't
Mm,
really know nobody. The only person that I knew, like I say, the first person I met when I got to Southwood was Terrence Black. And, Black just came across like he was a cool dude. He talked about, running track and playing football and stuff like that. But I don't think we ever just talked about like the politics of it or like who was
right.
playing or anything like that. Um, I signed up, and then once I signed up, um, immediately me and 4-5, me and Cody, we became real cool. And then from that, me and Renell came real cool. But the crazy part about it was Cody and Renell went cool.
Okay.
They went cool. So they had like this little beef or whatever, man, before I got there that I ain't know nothing about. And
Okay.
so
That's
eventually,
That's interesting.
yeah, they had like a little beef, man, that I ain't know nothing about. They wasn't really cool with each other.
Because
So
they was playing the same position, right?
Yeah, they both was
Yeah.
playing corner.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so we all kind of came together with me being cool with both of them. We kind of came together or whatever. And man, we just struck up a real good friendship, man.
Right.
And
Okay. So you kind of go out there. Do you go out there like at spring your sophomore year, or do you come out like 2 days during your junior year?
I came out during my junior year.
Okay.
So when I came out, when I came out there, whatever, um, I did the whole. This was when what's that dude name, man? Jeff Brooks. Matter of fact, that's who I ended up talking to my sophomore year. I
Okay.
think that was Jeff's senior year. And
Yep.
I
That's right.
ended up I had like a early morning gym class, and Jeff was in that gym class. And I remember talking to Jeff about playing football or whatever. And he was the one who told me, like, where I need to go, who I need to go talk to and stuff like that. And we was playing like two hand touch or something in that gym class that morning. And Jeff saw how fast I was. And he was like, dude, you kind of fast. And we was just kind of joking or whatever, man. And he was the one who told me, like, man, why don't you go and talk to such and such or whatever. And so I ended up talking to Coach Reeves, and he
Okay.
told me what all I needed to do for as like signing up and where I need to be and everything like that. So going into that my junior year when they had like the tryouts and all that. So I'm thinking like Southwood was gonna be more like how Booker T was with your tryouts, where you try out and then they cut people.
Hmm.
I ain't no Southwood wasn't gonna cut nobody,
No.
So I'm out there, I'm out there killing myself trying to, just make the team.
Right.
You know what I'm saying, man? And
Right.
I look up and I see everybody that made the team. I could have took it down a notch, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about, dude. Bro,
Right.
we out there, we practicing, man. I'll never forget, bro. I cracked back on Quinzac and tried to kill him. I'm talking about, man, I hit Quinzac so hard, man. I tried to take his head off. He never got his lick back from that, man. But doing all that I could to try to make the team, and then to turn
Mhm.
around and see what everybody make the team here.
Right.
And that was like the first culture shock to realize that and I guess that could have been the first things looking back on it now, could have been the first thing that let me know that Southwood was totally different. It wasn't about
Mhm.
whether or not you actually had talent or if you could actually play. It was the politics behind it, man.
Mhm.
You know,
Okay.
and
But how did you feel like you measured up? Like you said, you came in those 2 days, and your mindset and mentality was like, I got to make the team, not
yeah,
knowing that. So as you going through those 2 days, how do you feel like you measured up against everybody else you was playing against, as far as like on the defensive side and people you were competing against on the offensive side?
I feel like I was better than them.
Mm.
I felt like the only real competition. I felt like at that time, if you could beat Rennell, that was the measuring stick. So if
Mhm.
you was playing receiver and Rennell was the cornerback that was covering you, if you could catch a pass on Rennell, or if you could beat Rennell or whatever, or if you could get open on Rennell, I felt like then you was good. You could play
Mhm.
ball. Because Rennell, like I said, dog, he was locking everybody down. I mean, and I ain't just saying it because it's my homeboy, man. I felt like Rennell was probably the best cornerback in Shreveport during that junior senior year, who really just didn't get his just due, you know. Because I mean, man, this cat here, it was hard to just try to get open on him. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I've seen Rennell lock a lot of cats down, bro. I mean, despite what happened when we was in Marshall. But I
Hey.
mean, man, it was something, man, just trying to get open on him in practice, man. So I feel like, if you could get open on him or whatever, you catch a couple of balls on Rennell, man, then I feel like that's what got you noticed. And I felt like for whatever reasons, man, me and Coach Rob, we never really hit it off. But I felt like
Mhm.
Coach Reeves, he saw that. And I felt like Coach Reeves kind of saw that I could play. And he
Mhm.
was the one who, if anybody was gonna give you an opportunity or give you a chance, he would have been the one to give you an opportunity or a chance. Coach Rob, it was more who he liked. if he didn't like you, you weren't gonna play. You know, or your parents weren't spending no money or weren't buying them charball tickets or whatever, selling them charball tickets. You weren't gonna play. You know, and so I'm looking
you
at it like going out
you
there.
what you ain't getting no chalkboard tickets, man.
Man, I wasn't selling no charball tickets, man. I don't care how many charball tickets you brought to me, and you looking at locker, they still in there, man. You know, we joked about that every time, man. The dude come around with the chalkboard tickets. And you know, he used to send Coach Morning to the black students with the chalkboard tickets. If you're a black player, then you know he sent Coach Morning out there, whatever, you know. Coach Morning, go on here, take these over there to him. Check and jive for us a little bit. You know. Nah, what happened? But but yeah, man, like I say, so we get to the junior year. And that junior year, man, we come out and like I say, Arthur was starting at one receiver, and then they had this white guy, he was starting receiver, and then they had Tremaine Bursey, and at the time Bursey was a sophomore, and Bursey was playing like he was rotating in, and he was playing a little bit of special teams and playing in the slots or whatever, and Bursey was actually pretty good, man. He was pretty good. The white dude that they had playing, I felt like um, if Bursey was playing, I could have been playing too, because this white boy they had was horrible. And
Okay.
and then Arthur Redmond, like you say, he had the look. He looked like he was, man. If you looked at Arthur, you would have thought, man, this dude here had the build of a college receiver. He looked good. He ran. He was fast. Arthur couldn't catch a cold.
Right.
So at
Okay.
that point, I'm thinking like, okay, what do they want? Because you got this white dude, and I'm thinking, well, maybe they starting because they seniors. It got to be
Mhm.
because they seniors. But Bursey, he getting some playing time, which was well deserved because Bursey was good. The white boy that played, he was horrible,
Mm.
and Arthur or whatever. Like I said, he was fast, but dog, we talking about playing receiver. If you throwing the ball and you getting open, but you ain't catching it, why you out there? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Mhm.
So
So what was your like? But what was your mindset like? Did you feel
I felt like I
like
should
what?
have been playing ball.
Well, I'm just saying, like, as far as like trying to get on the field, like, did you feel like you needed to practice harder? Did you feel like you needed to have a conversation with a coach? Like, what was like?
Um,
How did you move forward?
I just felt like they were seniors, and that, you know what I'm saying, that was their time to play ball. And so, I got one more year. I got my senior year. So once, that happens, then, I get my opportunity. Or if one of them get hurt, then I get my opportunity to play. That's the way I
Mhm.
felt about it. So, um,
Yeah, but that got to be a tough way to spend like an entire season, feeling like that you better than the people that's playing,
yeah,
and you just kind of have to wait an entire season before you get an opportunity.
yeah. But I mean, I guess, man, I was playing JV ball, so I was playing football.
Okay.
So at that point, I was satisfied because I was playing football. Even though it wasn't in the capacity that I wanted it to be, I was satisfied with just playing football. And I think that the mentality at the time was they gonna see it.
Mhm.
They'll see that if I just keep coming out here busting my ass, and if I catch everything that they throw my way or whatever in practice, they'll see that I'm better than such and such, or they'll see that I'm better than this guys that's in front of me or whatever. Then that was my mindset. That was my whole mindset at the time
Mhm.
until
Well, but like you said, you were still playing JV. So, like, how did that go? Like, were you getting the balls that you were looking
yeah,
for?
JV was fun, man.
Mhm.
That I JV year we went undefeated, and you know what I'm saying. And you had we had fun playing JV ball, man. And they throw the ball every once in a while. You get a couple of passes thrown your way or
Mhm.
whatever. But for the most part, I don't think that I don't think that the mindset was there. But I don't think that the mindset in Shreveport was really there neither. It was
Okay.
totally different when you look across the board of how football was viewed in Shreveport, because it was, I don't think it was as big as it was in other states and in other cities. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
So
could see that. Well, I mean, like I said, you had like the Evangel that was operating at a high level.
yeah, but you
Uh,
gotta think like Evangel didn't really just burst on the scene or whatever and was operating like that. When I was in my senior year, they wasn't even in they didn't cross over and start playing y'all into your senior year to after we left.
no, it was a year after
Oh,
that because we didn't play them. It was that
oh,
two
okay.
thousand that year after that in 2000 when they
'Cause I
started
remember
playing.
one year, man, they stomped Southwood, dog.
That's every that had been every year they played.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I guess to me, I didn't never pay attention to them or really didn't pay no attention to Evangel or whatever to after I was gone, after I had
Mm,
graduated, because we wasn't playing them.
right.
So and only team that I saw in Shreveport that was seemed like they was doing football right or taking it serious was Bird at the time, you know, and everybody else was just playing ball. But Bird was on a different level, but Bird had Arnez Battle too, you know.
Yeah.
And when we played, man, we was just out there, you know. Seriously, we
All
was
right.
just out there.
Well, and I guess that's another question. So when you did get to Southwood and as it relates to your experience at BT, like, do you feel like you were coached?
Mm-mm, I don't. I felt like I was coached more at Booker T than I was at Southwood.
Hmm.
I felt like the coaches at Booker T actually, it was almost like they showed that they cared about you. You know what I'm saying? They cared about you. They wanted to see you play. And at Southwood, it wasn't like that at all. Like you may have had one or two coaches at Southwood who really coached you or really, in my opinion, knew what they was doing or seemed like they knew what they was doing or whatever. And you might have had one or two coaches that you could actually go up to and kind of talk to and be like, "Hey, look, man, am I gonna play or can I get this or can you know what I'm saying?" But other than that, man, I felt like we was just out there,
Hmm.
and I felt like Coach Rob wanted folks to know that he was running the show more than him actually putting the time and the effort to actually coaching us. It was just I felt like he just wanted a football team. That's it. And wanted to be the head of a football team, you know, because looking back at it now, man, you think about it, and I'm looking at it from when I got to college and started playing in Northwestern. And it was totally different from high school. And then I realized like all the fundamentals or whatever that we were supposed to learn in high school, here I am learning it now in college. And
Right.
that let me know that, man, them dudes didn't know what they was doing, you
Right.
know.
Right.
And
Right.
then and now being grown and having friends of mine and old, old classmates and old teammates or whatever being coaches at some of these high schools or whatever, man, I see why. Like some of it now, man, them cats, man, they weren't really coaches or whatever. They was just taking like PE teachers and taking
Yeah.
folks that graduated from the school and just plugging them in there and stuff and saying, "Hey, go out there and be the head coach or go out
Yeah.
there and be
Well,
this
to your
part."
point, they were like, "Hey, you know, we got an extra $2,000 in the budget if you want to be the
Yeah,
head coach."
yeah, exactly. And then he the head coach, and what he do is he hire some of his homeboys,
Hmm.
and they come in or whatever, and they don't know the first thing about football. Like, so you got a kickball teacher or something. You know what I'm saying? And now this dude, your offensive coordinator, man. This dude taking old Madden plays, trying to run them with 14 to 15-year-old kids. You know. So man, nah, man. We was just on
so,
the field, man.
so like I said, I think I had mentioned that earlier, or even before we started recording, that things wasn't working out at receiver.
Nah,
Um,
nah, it wasn't.
so, like I said, you kind of went through that year. Things didn't go the way they wanted to. So you said you kind of looking forward to this senior year to be like the year.
Yeah, yeah. So the
So
senior year,
how did that happen? Like during that spring though, because you had to have spring ball first.
yeah. So
Um,
senior year, man. Going into that senior year, everything was good. Everything was rolling, man. Because at that point, now it's me, Bursey, Gary Rushworth at receiver or whatever, and I'm
is that
thinking,
how is that how y'all started in the spring? That spring y'all started with
mhm,
those three?
yeah,
Okay.
that's how it was. And we did the what was it? The orange and blue game
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. And so had a pretty solid orange and blue game or whatever, man. So I'm like, okay, after the orange and blue game, I just know that me and Bercy, we finna be the starting receivers. Man, when this dude had Rushworth playing receiver, playing starting over me, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, man. Hold on, bro. It was no way that you can explain to me how Gary Rushworth was gonna start over me. I didn't I couldn't see that. And a lot of other cats that was on the team couldn't see it neither.
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, Gary Rushworth. And I mean, ain't no knock to Gary. He's a good guy, God bless him. But nah, man, come on. So we got to the third game of the season or whatever, and I think I was telling you about this third game of the season, and all of the running backs get hurt. And coach wouldn't throw the ball for nothing in the world. And so I'm in there and I'm playing in that game and I'm wondering why I got a cornerback on me that was real short, man. And I'm like, dude, just throw the ball up. We not losing by a whole lot. We losing by maybe 3 points or whatever. And I'm trying to figure out why you still trying to run the ball. Like he was literally putting hurt running backs back in the game, trying to run the ball. And that was the
Well, so all right, so you didn't think about maybe having a conversation with the quarterback?
no, because the quarterback was doing what the coach was told him to do. You know what I'm saying? Wade was gonna run I right 122 draw play. And if he wasn't gonna hand it off, he was gonna run it. And he was gonna get by 15 yards and get down the field and fumble the ball. You know? So, nah, man, it wasn't gonna be no thing. He wasn't even calling passing plays. So that was the difference. It would have been different had he been calling passing plays and Wade just wasn't able to get the ball to us or whatever. That would have been different. He was blatantly calling running plays and then bringing hurt receivers back. I mean, hurt running backs back in the game. I don't know what he was trying to do. And so when we lost that game, man, I think we lost that game by maybe 3 points. And I was ready to quit then in Washington, like right there on the field. And I remember talking to Renell and talking to 4-5, talking to Jamal or whatever. And like I said, prior to that season, when we was going through, the whole spring ball, all that stuff, training camp, all that, Coach P Coach P kept on trying to get me to come and play defense. And I was like, man, the only reason why I didn't play defense because I ain't know nothing about defense. I literally didn't know nothing about defense, man. And but I knew that the position he wanted me to play was defensive end, and I didn't want to play that. And so, and I honestly felt like they had a conversation before the season started. They wanted me to play defensive end, and since I chose not to play defensive end, I felt like that was part of the reason why they never played me really a receiver, like talking about it. And
Okay.
so,
So did other than Coach P, did anybody else come to you about playing defense?
Coach Morning, I had a talk
No,
with
go on.
Coach
Okay.
Morning about it. And so, like I say, the Washington game, I was finna quit. I hadn't took all my stuff off, man, in the middle of the field. I was ready to quit. And so we sat down. Like I said, I talked in the locker room. We were sitting in there. They had brought us chicken and all that and fed us in the whole nine. And I remember talking to 4-5 and Renell and them, and they was like, dude, just come to defense. And I was like, man, I ain't playing no defensive end. They were like, man, just come over there and, go talk to Coach P or go talk to Coach Morning. Well, at cornerback, you had Renell playing one cornerback, so I knew that I wasn't gonna play no cornerback. At the other cornerback, you had Bridgewater playing cornerback or whatever, and I really didn't want to play corner like talking about it anyway. I know I ain't want to play on the line because you had Steve and Raymond and all of them. They was playing on the line, Jerry Wayne. And then at linebacker, we was only playing with like two linebackers. I think we had what was that white boy name? Nathan
Yeah, probably Nathan and
Lawrence or whatever.
Jamal.
Nathan and Jamal was playing linebacker. You damn sure wasn't finna get no playing time if you was playing behind Jamal, because Jamal was just on a different
Yeah.
level, you know. And so at strong safety, you had Frank, and then you had Chad Cox and Bornhill. So I was like, well, that's it right there. It ain't number three of them, you know. Only thing I gotta do is go out here or whatever, man. Even if I don't start, I'm still gonna get an opportunity to play. So
Right.
I went for strong safety. And I remember that Monday, after that game Friday, we came back that Monday, and I came out. I went and talked to Coach P, and I told Coach P what I wanted to do, and he let me play strong safety. I came out to the practice and was playing defense. I ain't know what to do. So every time we broke the huddle, we get in the huddle, we break the huddle or whatever, get ready to line up. I tap Jamal and be like, say, man, what I supposed to do on this play? Or I go to Renell and be like, hey, what I supposed to do on this play? And so it was literally a play, man, where um what's your boy name? CD Coolidge or whatever.
Yeah. Yes.
CD had went out in the flats. He was playing running back. He went out in the flats. And I was supposed to just cover the flats. I wasn't supposed to continue to run with whoever it was that had went on down the sideline. Well, I continued to run with the receiver going down the sideline and Foley threw a pass, and it was a deep ball. I jumped up and my back was to Coach P. So it actually looked like I picked the ball off, but I didn't. I dropped the ball when I hit the ground, but it looked like I picked the ball off. And so I'll never forget Coach P saying, that's what I'm talking about. That's what you're supposed to do. That's how you're supposed to play. So he's doing all that or whatever, man. I get back to the huddle, and he tells me, he says, Scroggins, good play. Did you pick it off? So I lied. I said, yeah, I picked it off. Good job, Scroggins. Good job. He say, but next time you supposed to stay with the man that's in the flats. You supposed to let I think it was Renell or somebody at the time, let them cover the man going down the sideline. But I'm like, shit, man, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just out here. Just out here, man. Ain't nobody explain this.
Well, that's kind of strange that, like you said, you went to talk to Coach P, and then he brought you over, and he putting you in position, but nobody's giving you any direction on what to do. Like
Nobody.
you have to ask, because I would at least
Dude,
assume that he would have had one of the other strong safeties kind of give you some direction.
no, dude.
Okay.
We played, and so like the fifth game of the year. So really, my second game playing at strong safety, Chad Cox got suspended for doing something. So now me and Barnhill, we rotating in and out. So, and then me and Frank at the time, we had a little high school beef or whatever. So I couldn't ask dude. I couldn't ask him what to do. So I can't ask dude what to do, man. So, I go in the game, and like I said, every time we break the huddle, because I'm on the side with Jamal. I'm on the side with Jamal and Renell. So every time we break the huddle, I gotta catch one of them before they get in position. Say, man, what I do?
Right.
And so if I don't catch them, or if they get tired of telling me what I'm supposed to do, dude, I just blitz. That was my whole mindset. I'm gonna hit somebody.
Just get somebody, right?
Yeah, hit somebody, man. Just get to the ball. So that was my whole mindset. Like, so I played my whole senior year not knowing no plays, dog. Not knowing no plays. I was just out there freestyling it, man. I think a couple times I might have asked I probably asked Steve what to do. Like, say, man, what I do, bro? I'm lined up next to Steve, man. This man playing D tackle. Shit. I'm in the A gap with Steve. Like, shit. Just let me know what to do, man. But that just goes to show you, like, bro, it wasn't that type of relationship with the
Right.
coaches. The coaches it was a big disconnect between Southwood coaches and the actual players. Now some players had pretty good relationships with the coach, and I mean, and in my opinion, the players that had relationships with the coaches was actually the white players. Some of the white players had relationship with the coaches, but I don't think that they actually reached out. And I don't know how it was the year after I left or how it was for y'all. And but I know that when we was there, dog, anybody that graduated in '98 that tell you, "Oh yeah, man, I loved our coaches," they lying. They lying. I'll be the first to go on the record and say they lying.
I probably say Brooks said he he liked Coach Hadwin, and I think that was probably the only person. He said because he said he had respect for Coach Hadwin because Hadwin actually played, uh, and that was one of the things that he brought up. He said he didn't think any of the other coaches played, so that's why he
Yeah,
didn't have.
man, dude, them coaches didn't know what they was doing, bro. That was some of the worst. We honestly, in all honesty, dog, that 98 team, we had a team that had a lot of good talent on it,
Mm,
and we had the opportunity to possibly do something, but we had no direction whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? Um, for a high school team or whatever, dog, we had no direction whatsoever. Didn't nobody know what they. I mean, Coach Rob, like I said, and I don't know if the man's still alive or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
okay.
But
I,
this cat, he didn't know. He was
mm,
just, I think he just wanted to be a head coach, and I
right.
think that he really shouldn't have been a head coach. I honestly think that Coach Reeves should have been coaching that team because I think that Coach Reeves was a better football mind than a lot of them other coaches that was out there.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Well, and that's an interesting point that you brought up earlier about like you just felt like the coaches didn't have a relationship with the players, and I never really thought about that until you kind of broke it down. You kind of felt like the white players had relationships with the coaches, but most of the black players did not have a relationship with the coaches, and I never really thought about that till you brought that up. So
yeah, yeah.
that
I mean, to be honest with you, dog, you think about it like this: at now that we're older, we're grown. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my 40s, and I got kids or whatever, man. Most parents are a little bit more hands on with their kids who play sports, and they're up there and they watching the games or they at the
mm,
practices. When we was at practice, it was only, to my knowledge, only only one parent that was up there pretty much all the time, and that was Joel Daddy. You
mm,
know, Joel and Jamal dad, he was there at pretty much every practice, every game, and he was talking to the coaches or whatever.
mm,
You know, my mom, she wasn't there, so it ain't like we had no adults that was gonna go to bat for us or
right.
somebody that was gonna step up and be like, "You need to be playing my son." We didn't get that. You know, we had to deal with whatever they
Yeah,
gave us.
well, eh, yeah, and that's actually a really good point, man. Like having somebody that could look at it from the outside looking in, an adult and a
Mhm.
mentor, even like a mentor and somebody that could help, drive that conversation with the coaches. Because
Yeah,
to your point, it's not like they were going to really push back for the most part because, like you said, they didn't know what they were doing in the first
they
place.
know.
So they're
Yeah,
like,
they didn't know.
so
So
if you had somebody else coming and advocating, for the most part, they were like, that sounds like a good idea. We'll try
they probably would have. Yeah. I mean, man, if somebody would have just walked up and would have been like, "Hey, you need to give that boy that opportunity. Let him play. Put him in and let's see what he could do." They probably have been like, "Yeah, you're right. Let's put him in. Let's see what he could do." Because man,
it.
like I said, we had guys who was playing, and I know you saw this too. It was guys that was playing on them Southwood teams, bro, that should never even been out there, man. Like, and so many people was playing out of position, and you
Well,
know,
but to your point, and I think you made a good point earlier. It wasn't about all the time. It wasn't about talent, like you said.
hmm,
So,
it was.
and being there at that time in it, like I'm not thinking that way. I'm thinking the best player is gonna play. The most talented people gonna be on the field to make the plays to give us the best opportunity to win the game. Like
Mhm.
that's just the mindset. But to your point, there's a lot of other stuff going on the political side of it, as far as like with parents and relationships and booster clubs and things of that nature, that drove a lot of the decision making and not necessarily the best players playing to win the game. So
Man, Ray Perkins was playing cornerback, went into that senior season playing cornerback. They took Ray from playing cornerback and made Ray play receiver. And and all honestly, I think Ray probably would have been better playing cornerback. You
mm-hmm.
know, they was moving players around, and you was looking at it like, well, why are they doing that? Why they moving this player? Why they moving that player? Um, you had three solid running backs. If you look at, Dashun, you look at Cedric Laws, and then you look at Terrence Black, and you had your speed guy, your speed slash guy or whatever with Terrence Black. You had somewhat of a pounder with Dashun, and then you had your intermediate, because Sid could have done both of them. You know what I'm saying? With three running backs like that, man, a coach that actually know what he was doing, he could have got the most out of them. But at Southwood, you didn't get that. What you got was a coach that was putting everybody against each other, opposed to trying to figure out how you can make all this talent work together and benefit the team. You know, you had
Okay.
somebody that was as fast as Terrence Black and quick as Terrence Black. Why he ain't playing? You know, oh well, you ain't gonna. I'm not gonna play you because you don't want to run track for me. You know, uh, I'm not gonna play you because when I came to you and I asked you to play this position, you said no, or because I ain't. You know what I'm saying? Or just because I don't like you. You know, uh, you had somebody like Andre. Man, you got Dre, as big as Dre was, if we got a 3rd and 1 or a 3rd and 2, why you pitching the ball? Why you not handing the ball off to Dre?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was little stuff like that. We had a tight end situation where you had Joel playing one tight end, you was playing the other tight end or whatever, and they could have had a two tight end set. Never
Right.
thought about it like that because you didn't have guys who was football minds, man. You just had, like I said, some kickball coaches. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically what it was.
Right.
And-
As like you said, you kind of rolled through that your senior year, and like you mentioned earlier, you wasn't necessarily coached, and you kind of went through just asking other players what to do, and
Mhm.
if all else fails, man, you just blitzing the quarterback.
Just blitz, baby. Blitz.
So as that year ends, and obviously, like you say, you didn't kind of meet the mark as far as like going to the playoffs or anything like that. Like what's your thought process like moving forward and like football wise and potentially looking at? I know you said originally like your goal was to have your mom watch you playing on Saturdays. So like, what was your
Mhm.
mindset like as that year comes to a close?
My goal was still to have my mom watch me play on Saturday. So if I wasn't gonna play, high school was done. It was over. It wasn't nothing I could do to go back to change it. So moving forward, going to college or whatever, I went to Northwestern. Went to Northwestern in Natchitoches or whatever, man.
But what came to that decision? Like, why Northwestern?
I had I was getting scholarship offers to go play for, not so much to go play, but just go play, go to school or whatever, man. I didn't want to go to an all black college. I just didn't. And the college I wanted to go to, and I actually still got the letter to this day. I had got an invitation to come to the University of Miami. And my mama, she was against it. She didn't want me to go that far to school. And she was, being grown now, I understand why. But back then, I just felt like, man, come on, mom. Like, really? You don't want me to go to Miami? You know, I'm
That's
trying to get
that's
out.
that's who you watching on TV.
Yeah,
So
not only is that who you watching on TV, you just gotta think it's away from Shreveport, man. It's like this was the key to get up out of here. So, man, I went to Northwestern. Northwestern sent me an invitation to come down there for like a freshman connection or something like that. So I went down to Northwestern for that invitation for freshman connection, and they was practicing. They was doing spring practices or whatever, and so it was like a whole weekend thing. So that Saturday morning, I remember getting up and I said, we went down there on a Friday. We stayed all day Friday. That Saturday morning, I said I was gonna get up and go to the field house. So I went to the field house and I met with Coach Goodwin, who was the head coach at the time. And so sat down, I talked to him, man, and we had a real good conversation. And so he was telling me what all I needed to do to sign up and to walk on and help me with all the NCAA stuff or whatever, the paperwork at the time that you had to do. And so he was like, if you're serious about playing, you need to come back earlier than what the actual students come back to school. You need to come back about a month or two before they get ready to come. So I went down there, whatever, man. Went down there for the whole little spring deal. And when I went down there, very first week they had was called Hell Week. And so I'm down there.
So
And
when
then
is this like in? This is like in July, or when is this?
this was I want to say like middle of August.
Okay.
I want to say the freshman connection was in like June.
Mm,
It was in like June. So this was like towards the end of August or whatever,
okay.
mid August towards the end of August. And so we go down there, whatever.
But was Northwestern like your only choice? Like you didn't? I know you said you had the letter from Miami, but like
No, I
you.
had I had I had other choices, but the other choices or whatever, man, at the time, man, my mom, she was just totally against me
Mhm.
the leaving the state of Louisiana. She
Okay.
didn't want me. She wanted me to be somewhere that if anything was to happen, I got in trouble or I needed help
Mhm.
with something, she can get to me.
Right.
You
Well,
know.
and I'm just saying, I think because you had. Well, I know you wasn't looking at Grambling, but you had
Mm.
Louisiana Tech, you had the school of Monroe, you had Lafayette,
I
you know
looked
Mac.
at I looked at the only other school I looked at was LSU.
Okay.
And so LSU at the time, football wise, they was sorry. They had Jerry Donato was the head coach.
Yes, we remember.
And,
We all remember those Donardo years.
yeah.
So.
So I looked at LSU and we was actually supposed to have at the time I think you was supposed to have like an 18 on the ACT in order to go to
Okay.
LSU. And so and you were supposed to have taken like certain courses in high school.
Mm,
Well, I scored an 18 on ACT. I didn't take it was like some kind of math or something that you were supposed to take or whatever. I'm in high school, dude. I'm trying to graduate. I'm just looking at graduate. So
right.
I took business math.
Hmm.
And I think I was supposed to have took something like trigonometry or some weird stuff or whatever.
Mm,
But like I say, my best friend, 4-5, he was going at the time we in high school, he going to LSU. So I'm like, I'm trying to go to LSU.
hmm.
So we all talking, me, him, and Renell, we talking and we like, man, what we gonna do is I'm gonna go a semester at Northwestern. Renell was gonna go a semester at what was
Lafayette.
it? Yeah, at Louisiana Lafayette or whatever. And we gonna just come back and we all gonna go and we gonna come back and we gonna play at LSU. That was what the dream was supposed to have been. That ain't how the dream went. I got
Right.
to Northwestern, man, and I fell in love in Natchitoches, man.
Hmm.
And I eventually was trying to talk them into coming to Northwestern.
Okay.
And 4-5, he stayed at LSU.
Hmm.
Renell, he did the whole him and Joe, they did the whole Lafayette thing, and then
Hmm.
after a while, he went to Grambling. But I was trying to get him to come to Natchitoches before he went to Grambling. And so I
Okay.
was like, fam, you come down here, bro, you gonna get some playing, like you gonna play, you
Hmm.
know.
So how was that Hell Week you were mentioning earlier? How did that get started in mid August?
Oh dog, it was just like it was a week of strength and conditioning. And it was like something I had never experienced before in my life, dog. Like that's when I knew that college ball was on a whole nother level
Mm,
than high school, whole nother level. Because at Southwood, dog, we ain't do no strength and conditioning or nothing like that. Not that I remember, you know what I'm saying? Like we didn't do nothing, in my opinion, we didn't do nothing to get ready. In high school, we didn't do nothing to get ready,
mm,
to before you got ready to play. It was just like, you go out there and they didn't really just rate you to see, who gonna be doing what or where you gonna be at or whatever. Like they was literally making cuts. You know, you went through like three different realms of cuts. Like they gonna cut you at this level and get the team down to a certain number, and they're gonna cut you again. So you literally had to make the team. You know, um, had to run a mile in under a certain number of times, like a
mm.
certain couple of minutes. You had to be able to run a mile. They had you running bleachers or whatever, man, with sandbags on your shoulders or weights. or whatever. So when I tell you it was, a whole week of conditioning, man, I saw some of the toughest dudes, like big muscle bound dudes, man, breaking down, collapsing, and
Right.
then it was hot as hell. You know,
Right. Well, and it's kind of funny you bring that up because Trey Beard uh, ended up going to Northwestern for a little bit of time, and he mentioned the conditioning program that they put him through, and he said that after the conditioning program, he decided to hang it up.
yeah, yeah, because man, listen, if you can make it through, and it's just that 1 week. If you can make it through Hell Week, everything else is gonna be downhill. But you got to make it through Hell Week, man. Like I saw cats throwing up, like couldn't make it back up the at Northwestern. If you ever been there, or whatever, they got like a little tunnel, like a hill that you go up, and then you go into the locker room and everything. So these cats couldn't even make it back up the hill. Like I seen cats, man, I threw up. And I had
Right.
never worked out to a point to where it had me throwing up, man. Like, and it was just, bruh, it was grueling. It was grueling. But once you made it through, you kind of knew that everything else was just pretty much downhill, and everything else was gonna be just a matter of if you could play football or not. But they coached you up. They made sure that you was, where you was supposed to be or whatever, man. And
So, what position was you coming in to play when you were talking to coach?
strong safety.
Okay.
Yeah. So I played at Northwestern. I played strong safety, and I played a little tight end.
Right. Okay.
So, but like I said, they gave you the tools that you needed in order for you to be able to play those positions, man, and play those positions well. It wasn't like when Goodwin was there. You got to think like, man, this dude here, he was championship material. This was teams that had won Southland Conference championships or whatever. So he knew what it took, and it was just a big difference from playing any kind of high school football, dog.
Right. So coming in at that first year after the Hell Week, like how did that go? Like, were you looking to red shirt? Were you looking to play? Like, what was the conversation with your position coach?
I went in playing strong safety or whatever, man. And so I was rotating in and out. So I was actually playing. So it wasn't no red shirt situation or nothing like that. As a freshman, I played. So and then that's what let me know that at Southwood I should have been playing. Because man, it wasn't a situation of I didn't know how to play or I was sorry or nothing like that. It was just, being in the right place at the right time with the right coaching, you know. And I think that that year I played was rotating in and out playing strong safety or whatever, and then I played a little bit of tight end. So I was playing both sides of the ball, man, just having a blast and just loving football again. You know,
So how was that? Like, that's football. You seemed like everything was lined up. Like, how was everything going on campus in the classroom?
loving it,
Yeah.
loving it. Like I
That
said,
you know that.
I fell in love with Northwestern, bro. Just everything about it. It was just it was like, man, I had never experienced like when I went down there, I thought it was gonna be like, okay, you're a freshman coming in, ain't nobody gonna know who you are, you ain't gonna be popping like how you was in high school. Wasn't like that for me. When I got down to Northwestern or whatever, for the first 2 years that I was at Northwestern, nobody knew my real name. Everybody down there called me Godfather. So from high school, people calling me Godfather in high school, it just got bigger once I got to Northwestern.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Didn't nobody know my name was Sanders, man. I had teachers who would actually let me write Godfather on some of my papers. You know what I'm saying? And it was
Right.
crazy, man. Like, um,
But you had a couple people that was down there also from Southwood, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Fredo Lofton
Fredo.
and his cousin Reggie Lofton, Ray Perkins, he went down there, whatever. Bryce, he went down there, and
Okay.
so man, it was like, bruh, you would have never knew that we was freshmen when we was down there because, bruh, we was just we just, man, we was living, man. We was enjoying life down there, man. And like I said, I was having fun playing football, man. Uh, Hanging out in school, academics wise. Now this was the one thing that let me know that Northwestern was something totally different. College was something totally different from high school. Man, I remember after Hell Week. And so after we went through all the OTAs and everything like that, we get in there, man, and they didn't pretty much kind of narrowed the team down and all the people who made it. Well, all the freshmen coming in, they bring us up, and we're in the library, and they brought in like 5 or 6 girls or whatever in the library,
Mm.
and the coach said, "Hey, if y'all need a paper written or if y'all need anything done, academic wise, these the girls who y'all need to get with. They gonna write y'all papers for y'all. If y'all need to take a test, y'all need to let us know so we can talk to your professor, a day or two before the test, and let them know." And dog, I literally
Wow.
like they literally it was football. Like if you was down there and you made the team or you was on scholarship or anything, partial scholarship, whatever, your first objective down there was football, dog. Like they was gonna let you know, don't worry about academics. We gonna have that taken care of. You got a paper or whatever. You tell us what the paper about, and we gonna make sure these girls here take care of it. If you got a test, don't you worry about the test. We gonna talk to your professor, and you gonna be good on that test. So that was like that first glimpse into college or whatever. Like, dude, this serious. They ain't this
Right.
ain't no you going out there, you playing football and you just playing to enjoy yourself. Nah, this a business. Like they gonna take care of everything for you. And so far as academics goes and everything, man, it was just I didn't get serious. I wasn't failing out of
Mm.
school or nothing like that, but I didn't really get serious about um about academics to like my junior year. And by this time, Coach Goodwin had retired, and we had went through 2 different head coaches. And I had a head coach that came in. This dude came in from Montana, and he didn't know what the hell he was doing, man.
Okay.
For real, he really didn't. He came in, and it was like um, he changed the defense, and he was trying to move me to play another coach that was trying to move me to play defensive end, and he was talking about like playing a hybrid type of defensive end and like a Simeon Rice and all that. This dude kept referring back to Simeon Rice, and this was around the time what the Tampa Bay the Buccaneers had and won the
Right.
Super Bowl, so he was just big on trying to make our defense like the damn Tampa too in college.
Okay.
And so he was trying to get smaller, speedier guys to rush the passer and all this other stuff, man. And he kind of messed everything up. So my junior year, I didn't even play.
Mm.
Me and him
Okay.
had me and him had kind of like had it out or whatever, man. And so that whole junior year, I sat out. I didn't play at all. And that's when I seriously got like I honestly I got serious about my education and everything like that, man. And because then it wasn't the girls coming in writing papers, and
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't hey, we're gonna talk to the teachers for you. You had to really buckle down and do your own work and stuff then, you know. And so that's when I serious got real serious about education and the whole nine.
Okay. But you never decided to go back after you set out that year. It was just easy for you to walk away.
It was easy for me to walk away because it wasn't like it was a burning desire to just play football, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I knew that trying to make it to the pros, that would have been like chasing a dream. It would have been, like really just running after it or whatever, chasing the dream. It wasn't until like after I went to Spain, I was in Northwestern. I went to Spain, where that whole talks of trying to play football again. My senior year, trying to play football again, trying to go pro and the whole nine like that. That's when all that stuff that came back. But other than that, it wasn't really. It was easy for me to walk away. I've always been the type of person, man. Once I'd made my mind up on something, I'm done with it. I ain't gotta look back and be like, well, what could have happened or what should have happened. No, when it's done, it's done. You know, move
Right.
on.
Okay. All right. So you kind of, push on, move on. Like I say, everybody kind of move on from even from moving on from Northwestern. So you finally kind of move and get into becoming a personal trainer.
Yeah.
Like there was a lot of things I seen you doing. But personal training was not one. So, so where did the ideal or the thought come from? Because it still all ties into sports, honestly.
hmm
With the mentality and the consistency and the hard work, like it all still ties into that you had the foundation in. So like, where did the ideal come, like to start doing personal training?
Uh, man, I like working out.
Mm,
I was I sold cars for 9.5 years, man. After I got back from Spain, I lived in Spain or whatever, man, for about I was over there or whatever. I got back here, and when I got back here or whatever, man, I took on a couple of sales jobs. I worked at Time Warner, and then I worked at ADT. And then after that, I went and I started selling cars, and I sold cars at Roundtree Ford for 9.5 years. And during that time, if you're a car salesman, the only thing you do in your downtime really is eat and bet. So all you do is eat and bet. So man, we would be betting on some of the craziest things. Like man, we'll be in pitching quarters, playing Get Like Me for $100 a quarter, a flip or something. And we'll just be sitting in our office or whatever, man, just eating. So, dude, I had ballooned up and had got bigger than I had ever been, man. I was at like 320 pounds, and it just didn't feel right, didn't look right. So I started back. I started working out, and this was like the first time that I had really worked out serious since college or whatever. And so, after I worked out for a while, man, I started losing the weight. And I was
mm-hmm,
going to this gym, Snap Fitness. They had these little gyms or whatever that was in here before Anytime Fitness or whatever. And I was going there working out and would just come up with like all these crazy little hit exercises and workouts or whatever for myself. And by this time, a couple years rolled by, whatever, man, Planet Fitness, they had opened up. And so I would go to Planet Fitness, but I would never go to Planet Fitness and work out like some of the most people that you see in there. Like I wouldn't go and work out with the machines or whatever, or get on the
mm-hmm.
machines. I would always go upstairs and I would, like create my own little routines.
Right.
And I remember, man, these girls coming up to me and asking me, was I a trainer? And I was like, nah, I ain't no trainer, man. I just, I do this for myself. And I just worked out and I was just working out hard. And so I had a couple of other people asking me about training them, and I was like, "No, I'm not a trainer. I'm not certified." It wasn't until these two girls out here in Shreveport, man, they opened up their own little fitness deal called Partners Who Train. And I remember telling them that if I ever stopped selling cars, that I would come and I would help them out or whatever. I would come and I would be a part of what they had going on.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted a male trainer at the time, but like I said, I was still selling cars, so I wasn't really just into doing that. I didn't have the time to do it. Well, after 9.5 years, dog, I kind of, me and the owner and the management or whatever at Roundtree, we just had to part in the ways, man. We had a little situation happen, incident happen where I was just like, yeah, I'm done. I just sold my last car. I'm done. I ain't finna deal with this
Right.
no more.
Mm-hmm.
And when I walked out, they was the first people who I called. And so I called them up and I was like, hey, I'm ready. So, I started, training with them, working out with them or whatever, and started coming up, designing my own workouts and things like that.
So like, but what was the? Did y'all have like any kind of agreement, or it was just like whoever you bring in, that's who you work with, or were they gonna
Well,
send people to you, or were y'all gonna have like some kind of schedule set up?
no, we actually had it was actually an agreement in place, and the agreement was that well, I thought we did. Let me back up.
Okay.
I'm under the impression that okay, when I originally talked to him and we was originally talking about doing this or whatever, man, I'm thinking like all three of us was gonna go into this thing and we was gonna be like equal partners or something.
Hmm.
Well, after I couldn't do it, they went head on and they did it or whatever. Um, I wasn't tripping. I was looking at it like, okay, cool. I come back into the fold, but they had already kind of like got their stuff up and running and established themselves. So I come back into the fold, and they were talking about letting me do my own class or whatever over at Quirby's Park. And so I was supposed to build a class up, come up with the workouts, promote the class, sign people up, the whole nine. So I'm thinking like, well, if I'm doing that, this is my class. I'm just working under their umbrella.
Hmm.
They wanted me to work as a volunteer.
Mm.
So I'm like, you want me to work for, and they wanted me to work for as a volunteer for 3 months. Now, mind you, I ain't got no job no more.
You
I'm not working at the
right.
dealership, so
Absolutely.
I can't volunteer to do nothing, man. I gotta make some money. So, but at the same time, Lovely Bodies was looking for somebody to train. And a friend of mine was real cool with she was real cool with Corey's sister. Corey being the owner of Lovely Bodies or whatever, she was real cool with Corey's sister. So she got me an interview with Corey's mom. And so I interviewed with Corey's mom or whatever, and she was like, yeah, we're willing to hire you. But I had one stipulation. My stipulation was that I was I wanted to be independent. Like, yeah, I'll come and I'll do the classes over here or whatever, but I still want to be able to kind of like promote and come up with my own stuff and be my own entity and just build my own brand. And so I told the girls that partners who train this, and at first they blew it off. And they was like, oh yeah, whatever. I don't think they thought that because at the time I wasn't certified.
Right. Right. Right.
And I don't think that they thought that nobody was seriously interested in me or thought that nobody was gonna take a chance like that. And so I kept telling them because I ain't want to do no bad business. So I told them I was like, nah, man, like uh the people over here at Lovely Bodies, they interested, like they want to really hire me. And so it wasn't until it came down to it and I told them and we sat down and we really had a talk. And I was like, look, I'm thinking more along the lines of I could do y'all because I was going to be doing partners who train in the morning, and it was going to be like I think it was like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing at 10 in the morning, and then Lovely Bodies was going to be like a Monday through Friday thing at 5 p.m. So
Okay.
I'm thinking I could do both.
Mm.
They didn't see it that way. They felt like it was a conflict of interest that I would be working for two different fitness groups. So then I was like, well, you know something? It is what it is. I'm gonna go with the people who paying me. Love Divided is gonna be paying me. Y'all want me to volunteer. Y'all volunteer and do all that yourself. Shit. I ain't volunteering to do nothing. So I
You
went to
make
Love
a
Dividers, man.
you make a volunteer some advice, but
Yeah,
that's
man, I wasn't volunteering nothing. So I went to Lovely Bodies, man, and in the time that I was at Lovely Bodies, I ended up getting certified
okay.
and doing my certification and everything like that, and kind of help build Lovely Bodies program back up, and at the same time build up a following. And so after being there for I want to say maybe 9, 10 months, I was like, man, I could do this on my own. I could branch off and do this on my own. I had the business skills for it, and I was already a salesman. Only thing now was I was selling myself, and I was selling people on the fact that I could actually help them lose weight.
Right.
And so I branched off and I started my own brand and opened up, my own gym, TWBB or whatever, man. And everything else was just like
And you
downhill.
didn't have any agreement with Heavenly Bodies or anything. Y'all didn't have like any
Lovely Bodies.
contract. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean Lovely Body.
the agreement that I had with Lovely Bodies was that I wouldn't be, I wasn't going to be a Lovely Bodies employee.
Okay, so you're a
I was going to
contractor.
be an independent contractor.
Okay.
And so the split that everybody was getting, every trainer that they brought in was a 60-40 split.
Hmm.
So the trainer would get 60% of everybody that they signed up, and the gym would get 40%.
Hmm.
Well, I took a 50-50 split so that I could be independent and I could do my own thing. So
Right.
I did the classes at Lovely Bodies. So I did their classes, but when I personal trained everybody under TWBB, under
Hmm.
my own brand. So anything that I did for as personal training was 100% mine. And I didn't like try to steer nobody one way or the other. If you want the personal train, then I was gonna personal train you. If you wanted to do classes, then you could do classes. Like I said, I didn't want to do no dirty business, so it wasn't
Right.
like I was telling people, man, you need to go and sign up for personal training. It was like, no, whichever way you want to go. So,
Right.
like I said, after 9 months of doing that, I was like, well, man, I could do this and do my own thing. I stepped away, and then I ran into Cedric Laws.
Hmm.
Sid had his own gym. I was working out at Anytime Fitness in Shreve City, and Sid he just so happened to be over there. And I had totally forgot all about the fact that Sid was training. And it was crazy because when I decided to start back working out and start back getting in shape, Sid was who I went to and who was my trainer. So
Okay.
I had been training with Sid or whatever prior to me ever wanting to be a
A
trainer.
trainer. Okay.
And so, man, it's crazy how life happens or whatever.
Hmm.
So it brought everything back around full circle. So now I talked to Sid, and Sid was like, man, yeah, you come over and train out of my gym, man. And Sid, man, I'm talking about just show love, man. Like the first I want to say 2 or 3 months, Sid was like, man, you come over here, you ain't got to pay me. Like, take that time, build up your clientele or whatever, man. See if you like the gym. And if you like the gym or whatever, and you like training over here, then this you know. So Sid kind of like gave me the keys to the car and was like, man, do your
Hmm.
thing. And so within that time, when I left Lovely Bodies, I wanted to leave in good tact. So I didn't take nobody. I didn't tell nobody where I was going or none of that because I didn't want them to feel like, well, I was stealing their clients or anything. I left, and when I left, man, about 80% of the clientele they called me, and I told them where I was at, and they came over to where I was at. And so, man, I just kind of started building my brand, and the whole time I was working.
There was no issues with Heavenly Bodies when that happened.
Um, no, I don't think it was. I
Okay.
felt like, you know, it may have been a little bit of animosity or whatever, man, but it was nothing was said. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? Like and like I said, I tried to leave in good tact.
Right.
So, it wasn't like I didn't tell them that I was leaving. Hell, I stayed maybe a month or two after I told them that I was leaving, and I didn't want to make it seem like, well, I just up and just disappeared. One moment I'm here, the next moment I leave everybody high and dry. Like, no, But I don't think that there was any beef, and if it was some animosity, it was slight, you
Right.
know.
Okay.
And I never badmouthed them, and I just kept it moving, And so, like I said, I was over there doing my thing with Sid, and Sid at the time, he was trying to do his whole things with the Avocare with the products and stuff like that. So it worked out perfect for me because I had a gym that I could train out of, and my people had somewhere where they could come or whatever, and it wasn't a situation where I was splitting no money. you know. And in the meantime, I was still working on trying to get my own spot and just kind of build my own brand or whatever. And that was what I was doing. And so
Okay.
I stayed over there with Sid for probably about a year. And then after that year, Sid decided, well, they was gonna close the gym down. So now I got all these people, but I don't know where I'm going to go train at. And that was it was a scary moment. But I had a guy from Plex, the manager and the owner that was owning Plex, the gym out here. They saw a 4th of July workout that I did, and they wanted me to come over there so that they could jumpstart they fitness classes, and wanted me to come
Where was it? Where did they see the workout? Do you have it posted on social
on
media?
Facebook, on Instagram.
Okay.
He hit me up on Instagram. You
Okay.
know, he inboxed me, and we had a meeting. I went over there. We had a little sit down or whatever, and he was like, "Say, man, we've been following you on Instagram, and we kind of like what you're doing, and you know, our fitness classes, it just ain't got this spark. We trying to bring more people here, and you know, we trying to see how we can jumpstart it and kind of get that spark." And so the first deal that we did or whatever, I ain't really like it because of what, they was talking or whatever, man. But they didn't know that, like, dude, I desperately need somewhere to train. I ain't let them know I'm in there and I'm trying to play
Right.
hardball with them or whatever, man. They slide me the paper with the off on it. I look at it and slide it back like, nah, man, this ain't gonna get it. But then deep down inside, I'm like, I ain't got no choice, man, you know, because I got all these people who training
Right.
with me and who doing these classes, but I ain't got nowhere to train them at. So I slide it back and I walk out and I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to, crawl back with my tail tucked between my legs and take that deal. Well,
Oh,
about 2 days go by and I get another phone call. And dude was like, hey man, come back in, we want to meet with you again or whatever. So I go in there, we sit down, we meet again. And this time the deal that he made was like, oh yeah, I can get with that. I can get with that. So he wanted me to bring over, I want to say 35 clients over with me once I came. And if I brought 35 clients over with me when I came, he was going to discount. All of them had to get a membership there, but he discounted their membership to where they was only paying like $12 or something. And then I didn't have to worry about paying them any kind of fee for using the gym or anything like that.
okay.
So instead of me bringing over 35, I actually brought over like 50 people with me. And we was there until that particular owner sold the gym back to the original guy he bought it from, to the original owner.
Hmm.
And me and the original owner, we couldn't see eye to eye. We butted heads or whatever. And when I left, we did a big workout on Memorial Day, dog. And I got the pictures on Instagram. We called it Black Monday. And I had about at the time
About what year is this we're talking?
when I did the
Roughly. The Black Monday.
oh man, this was maybe 5 years.
Okay. So we're looking like around 17, 18.
Yeah, let me see. I can tell you exactly. Um, but if you look on my Instagram, man, you'll see it. The workout was so big, man. Like it was like standing room only
Hmm.
because we had it packed. And at that time, I had my clientele had grew. I had went from the 50 people that I had brought over there to about 85 people that I had in classes, and
Wow.
that wasn't even counting my personal training clients at the time. This was no, this was actually 2018.
Okay. So,
Yeah, so this was
so
2018 when this happened, and so we did the little Memorial Day workout, the little Black Monday workout, and after we was done with the workout, every last one of my clients went up to the front desk and canceled their contract. Y'all canceled the contract, man. And because what he was trying to do, he was trying to get rid of me. And he was trying to keep my clients.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't know the loyalty that my clients had to me.
Right.
So he thinking, well, if I get rid of him and I keep them on, I just get somebody else to take over the classes.
Yeah.
Or
Right.
whatever. But,
Right.
it wasn't the same deal. And so, man, we all canceled our contract. And I had my gym at the time was being worked on or whatever. So I had already bought all my equipment and had all my stuff together. I opened my gym up, man, and when I opened my gym, the rest was history, man. So,
Mm-hmm. Well,
I
kind of
be,
speak to me like how did that feel? Like you said, once everybody went and canceled their contracts, like obviously you put in a lot of work, you put in a lot of sweat equity, a lot of investment. So, and not necessarily being able to work everything out on the business side with this new owner, and then obviously seeing him trying to push you out the door, but keep the people that you built those relationships with. Like, can you kind of speak to me? Like, how did that feel when everybody went and canceled their memberships?
oh man, lovely, lovely, lovely. Because dog, in all honesty, man, it was a lot of underlying racism there, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and so a lot of my people they saw it too, so they knew that. You know, I told them maybe about a week before we had that workout that hey, look, I'm moving on. Like we moving on, man. They don't want us here. They've been here lately. They've been real blatant about it. They've been showing that this ain't they don't want us here or whatever. But it never really dawned on me that he didn't want me there and he wanted to keep my people until like later on. But I was we had already started feeling that whole little vibe of hey, you're not welcome. Y'all not welcome. And it had got to a point to where he started bringing in different trainers, kickboxing trainers, some other kind of trainer, and he was giving them slots around the time that we was working out and trying to put us in a position to where, okay, well, if we're gonna work out this evening, we're gonna have to work out outside. We're gonna have to go and we gotta work out on the tennis court, or we gotta go, like we
Mm-hmm.
constantly having to move around. So I was like, well, if we're gonna move around, we might as well go ahead and move around and move out.
Right.
So um, it was one of them things where it was a blessing in disguise because you want to try and make everything work.
Mm-hmm.
You want to you always want to make everything work, but then again, man, in order for me, my whole purpose of doing this was so that I could have my freedom and being independent or whatever.
Yeah.
And so being independent and having my freedom meant taking that next step and actually owning
Mm-hmm.
what it was that was mine, like owning my brand. And the only way I was going to do that is getting my own spot.
Right. And
So
like you said, you had to kind of get pushed out the nest.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's why I say it was a blessing in disguise
Right.
because
Right.
had he not said anything, I probably would have been still over there training at Plex in somebody else's spot,
Right.
you know. And so being pushed out of there and kind of being forced out of there or whatever, it taught me a valuable lesson that, man, you can't move whenever you ready. Sometimes you gotta move or whatever. Sometimes you just gotta make that move and step
Right.
out on faith, you
Mm-hmm.
know. And so when you step out on faith or whatever, just put everything in the hand of the Lord, man, and just keep moving. And that's what I was doing. Like I had to bet on myself.
Right.
And in order for me to succeed, I had to 100% bet on myself and push all the chips to the middle of the table and be like, well, what happens, happens, you know, and be willing to accept whatever the outcome was going to be. But I had to 100% wholeheartedly trust that it was going to work out in my favor.
Right.
Because had I would have flinched at any time, this wasn't going to work,
Right.
you
Well,
know?
and even understanding you had to take everything up to another level. 'Cause like I said, when you was working at Roundtree, you work, go home, do whatever. Now you the entrepreneur. Hey, work don't stop. Like you gotta keep grinding, man. Because like you
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
it's all on you now. So.
Yeah. It is, man.
Mhm.
But to be honest with you, man, Marvin dog, I wouldn't have it no other way.
Yeah.
Best decision that I ever made, man. I remember when I was 17 years old, I told my mama that I don't know what I'm gonna do, but at some point in my life, I'm gonna work for myself. I'm gonna be my own boss.
Right.
So that was a promise that I made back when I was 17, and that promise or whatever I had to make. I made good on that promise that I was gonna be my own boss. And like I said, dog, I wouldn't have it no other way. And now
Right.
sitting here at 41 years old, not only do I have one business, I have two. You
Right.
know, so I was able to start in that world of fitness and sports or whatever, man, and continue to itch and carve out a way for me and carve out a lane for me. You
Right.
know,
Well, and even that being important because, yeah, to your point, the end goal was always to be an entrepreneur on your own.
yeah.
But I think what you learned with said, what you learned in Plex, those were still integral parts of you learning the business.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
that you got that knowledge and that information. So you once that door was open, even though
mhm,
you might have been a little hesitant to step through it, you were still
yeah.
prepared, and everything else, man, you figure out just through hard work, determination,
Exactly,
the
exactly,
grind, man. You was gonna figure
exactly,
all the rest of stuff out.
exactly.
So
It was just like you said, man. They was keys. They was building blocks along their
mhm,
way. You know, without one thing happening, then this one happened. It was a cause and effects. It was that thing like what said, man. I'll forever be grateful to said because I felt like said gave me an opportunity that a lot of people wouldn't have never did. So I always take my hat off to him, and even to oh boy, the cat that was the owner over at Plex or whatever, man. I take my hat off to him in a different aspect because had he not, um, I guess you could say, show me the brutal side of business or whatever, or how to
mhm.
deal with, he was pretty much saying, "Hey, look, we don't want your ass here." You know what I'm saying? So okay,
Right.
if
Hey,
you
and
saying
it
that,
did, and the thing is about that, like you said, very valid point. It didn't have anything to do with the work you was bringing in, the clientele
none of
you were
that.
bringing in.
None of
Didn't
that.
have
Sometimes
didn't
people
have
just don't like
anything.
you, man. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Sometimes
So
people just don't like you because when I did the math on it, dog, real talk, Marvin, when I did the math on it, this dude was making $65,000 a year. $65,000 a year on my people alone. On just my people. Bruh, I don't know when the last time you went to Plex, but at that time, dog, Plex was terrible. I'm talking about, man, this
right.
place was,
It's been
half
up
of
and
the
down.
machines, the treadmills weren't working, the weights was rusted out, you know what I'm saying? And for me to just, I mean, dude, you collecting $65,000 without having to do anything. An additional 65,000.
Mm,
But that man would cut off his nose to spite his face.
right.
He didn't want me to. He didn't want to have nothing to do with me, and he was willing to get rid of me, hoping to keep my people. But even when my people left, he still was like, good riddance.
Yeah.
And so that right there toughened me up and let me know that, man, ain't nobody gonna do nothing for me, and I can't expect nobody to do nothing for me.
Right.
If
Absolutely.
if this is gonna be mine, I gotta grind for it. If this is gonna be mine, then I gotta put in the time, the effort, the blood, the sweat, the tears, and work for it. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I did.
Right.
You know.
Good. Good, man. So where did Train with the Black Bane come from? So
uh,
where was that birth, man?
like I said, dog, I used to go to Planet Fitness and I used to work out at Planet Fitness, and so I used to have those training masks.
Right.
And so I would put on the training mask or whatever to help strengthen my lungs and to just really challenge myself whenever I would work out. And one of the girls there that was she was a trainer at Planet Fitness. Every time she would see me walk in and out, she would say, "Oh, there go Bane, the character that was on Batman."
All right.
And so she was like, "I'm gonna start calling you Black Bane." And just so happened, I really liked the character or whatever. And so when I decided to become a trainer, I didn't want to be, you got all these trainers that they body by this person or they,
Mm-hmm.
something with their name in. I didn't want nobody to know my name. And I didn't want to be like body with Sanders or body by Scroggins or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just felt like that was lame. And
Right.
so,
It could have been trained with the Godfather, man.
yeah, but that was the Godfather was different. That was high school and
Right.
college and running the streets or whatever. That was that. This was something, and I like I said, I really liked that Bane character,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it was a villain, it wasn't a good guy. Because everything that you look at when you look at like workouts and stuff like that is always a Superman or some superhero or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And this was the first time you actually saw a villain that like he whooped the superhero. He was, you know what I'm saying? Like he was better than
Right.
Batman. He broke Batman back. Batman needed help to defeat him. So I always looked at it like, okay, well, we're gonna work out like villains. We ain't working out like heroes. You know, we working out to be better than your whoever is your best. We working out to be better than your best.
Right.
So your workout is gonna always be our warm up. So we gonna go hard every time we step in the gym. And like I said, when the chick gave me that name, it just kind of stuck. And
No, and I will say this, man. It is definitely what we consider in business like a unique selling point.
yeah,
Like even your branding is different. It sticks out. So just from that perspective, man, it separates itself already
yeah,
from
yeah,
all the other gyms, all the other trainers, and
hmm
things of that nature, man. So
yeah,
I thought that was really cool how it stood out.
yeah,
Um, so I did have a question. So you mentioned the second business. So obviously
hmm
you kind of got trained with Black Bane up and running. Like
hmm
everybody came over. Like, did you have any hiccups when you first started, or was it just up and running from the beginning
on what's
with
about
the
the gym?
gym?
No, it wasn't no hiccups with the gym, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like everybody came over, man. I think my clients they loved it more than I did. Like it took a minute for it to actually just sink in to me that this is all me. This is mine. Like bro, I still felt like I was working for somebody or like I was, working out of somebody else's place. But my clients, man, they was on board with it. It was like home to them. They finally had a place where they could come in and relax and just work out and enjoy themselves. It was home. And
Mm-hmm.
so for me, it took a little while and then
Okay.
it sunk in or whatever. Like, man, I really, I'm really blessed. Like I
Right.
really my hard work and all the grinding and everything that I put in, countless hours or whatever, man, it really kind of came all to sit back and watch it or whatever and see it all come together, man. It was a beautiful thing. You
Okay.
know.
So how did Synergy Reloaded come into play?
The synergy came about. I actually had some clients or whatever, man, and they was doing the Herbalife thing. And when they opened up their store, Next Gen, they opened up their store. I used to train the owners of Next Gen, and they kept talking to me about doing the Herbalife thing. And I was like, no, no, I ain't gonna do it, man. I didn't believe in it at the time. I didn't believe in the products and everything at the time. And I just I wasn't I wasn't feeling it. And so, man, once I finally decided, okay, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna do something else or whatever. I'm gonna do something big. I wanted to do something for my clients and give my clients um, an option. I got tired of training people, and then after they work out, they get a good workout. They go to McDonald's or they go to Church's Chicken, or they go and they eat something that they aren't supposed to eat, and they
Southern
just
Classic.
yeah, Southern Classic, and they just throw the whole workout away.
Right.
And my whole point was, you here to lose weight? Are you here to get in shape? Why
Right.
go put something, some trash in your body or whatever, man, when you here to get in shape? you know. And so when I finally decided that, okay, I'm gonna open up a shake shop, I did all my research or whatever on the shakes and the protein and on the just the healthy side of it, the nutrition side of it. And I was like, all right, now is the best time. Um, the Subway that was 2 doors down from my gym had went out of business. So, but nah, man, I just, man, I wanted to bring my clients, wanted to bring my clients a better food option, man. Just something to where they didn't have to blow
Right.
their workout, you know. And so this synergy was a great way of me being able to provide that, a healthier alternative,
Mhm.
and be able to kind of like give my clients another avenue that they don't get nowhere
Right.
else. You know, you got some trainers or whatever, man. They just out for the money. You know, you come, you get your workout, and then you go home. And a lot of them or whatever, they'll put together a generic meal plan and tell you, okay, go eat this here. Okay, but what if you're allergic to that? What if your body is carb sensitive or whatever? What I eat and what you eat or whatever,
Yeah,
man, it may
totally
not
different.
react the
Right.
same way. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, being able to kind of like sit down with my clients after they get a good workout, they come down here to Synergy or whatever, man, and they get a protein shake or they get an energy tea. Or I could talk to them about the benefits of BCAA or talk to them about the benefits of probiotic or whatever.
Can
Um,
you speak to like maybe
it just
the like you said, you were kind of had to be pushed out the door to start the gym. Like just because of that experience, can maybe you speak to how easily it was for you to start up, the next one, Synergy Reloaded?
it was easy in the aspect of
Hmm.
knowing what to do. You know, the whole far as like the business side of it, forming an LLC and creating all of that or whatever. So it was easy in that aspect. And this one or whatever, man, this venture was something that I kind of was back and forth with. And not because it was going to be hard to open or hard for me to do it. It was just because I was on the fence on was I going to have time to do it. And then on top of it, was I going to have the people behind me to run it and run
Yeah,
it the right way?
absolutely.
Because when I started Synergy, I actually started Synergy with a partner, and I started with a partner. But when you got a vision and your partner has another vision or whatever, and y'all starting to go this way instead of us coming together, it wasn't gonna work. So, me and the partner, we just decided, hey, look, it's just best if you do your thing and I'll do my thing over here or whatever. So I decided to take on it and just keep it or whatever, man, and roll with it. And, man, it's one of the best things that has
Right,
happened,
right.
you know. Um, the buzz is around the city about it. I think that Shreveport is ready for places that's going to give you healthier alternatives, man. We've been eating bad for so many years and having places that cater to all of the greasy and all the junk food or whatever, to now you have a place where you could come in my place, man, you can, like I said, you can get your a meal replacement, a healthy meal replacement shake, or you can get your protein waffle or protein donuts. You can get your energy teas or your immunity, your aloe water and stuff. And everything that you get is going to be things that's going to feed your body and give you all of the good nutrients and vitamins that you need, opposed to you just putting some junk in your body, man. And you constantly gaining weight and feeling sluggish and tired and wore out or whatever,
Yeah.
man. So
Well, and I think part of that
um
has to do,
every
yeah, and you're right. The time is now. And a lot of that has to do with the education piece of it. I think once people are educated, then they won't have any problem doing it.
Mhm.
It's just us getting the information
Yeah,
to us.
and that's the thing that a lot of black
Mm-hmm.
people we lack. You know, we have the want to, we just don't have the know how.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and
and even the
so
why, like why is this good for me? Like,
yeah,
once
yeah,
you start doing
yeah,
the
and
research, you're
that's the
like, no,
thing.
I'm
Like,
actually killing myself. So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, we're the type of people, man. We the last to know everything, and the reason why we the last to know everything is because no one wants to educate themselves. You know, and with today's age or whatever, everybody is microwave. I want it now. I want it now. How can I get it to? How can I get it to work now? Don't nobody want to take the time out, man, to really just put in the work that it takes for you to have what you really want. But like I stress to all of my clients, man, anything worth having is worth working hard for.
yeah,
You know, your car that you bought, you had to work hard to get the money or to get, build a credit up or whatever in order for you to buy it. The house that you got, man, you had to work hard in order for you to buy that house. So it's the same thing with your body, man. If it's worth having, it's worth working hard
right,
for.
absolutely,
You know.
absolutely. So,
So
and you mentioned like earlier about a lot of the other gyms and a lot of the other trainers, and how they're doing things, but you've really been intentional, and I just kind of want you to speak to that and like what that means to you. Like you've really been intentional about building a community. Like you've got like mud runs, you got Christmas parties, like you handing out championship belts. It's a
yeah,
community, and it's like and there's no way to do that
yeah,
without being intentional about that, man. So
yeah,
can you speak a little bit about
yeah.
like being intentional with building a community?
I just always want to
Yeah.
be different, man. You know, and I feel like that if you give people variety and you not that same old thing, you go in, you work out, you go home. You go in, you work out, you go home. Man, people get tired of it. It's old. That's old. That's played out. I mean, you gotta have fun with it. You know, and that's just with anything in life, man. Just have fun and think
Right.
outside the box. With the championship belts or whatever, what I do is on Mondays, everybody come in, they get on the scale. I get your weight. On Thursday, I go through and I look. I mean, on Wednesday, I go through Wednesday night and I check everybody weight, man. I check to see what their progress is. Are they losing weight? What does they what do the muscle mass look like? What does your body fat percentage look like? What does your visceral fat? What does your subcutaneous fat look like? So I check everything, and then come Thursday, the person who has lost the most weight or who has gained the most muscle, and it has to be a 2 pound difference. If you gain 2 pounds of muscle or more, or if you lost 2 pounds of fat or more, whoever has lost or gained the most or whatever, that's the champion for their week. But it gives people
Right.
something to strive for, because if I'm in class with you and a couple of other guys or whatever, man, and I say to myself, you ain't beating me this week, it's just that incentive to push you to
Competition,
go
right.
harder, to work out more, you know. And regardless of how people might want to say it, bruh, everybody has that competitive
Yep.
edge in them, you know. If you tell me that you better than me in something or whatever, then I'm gonna set out to prove to you that you're wrong. You know, um, and especially if it's all in the good name of
Mm-hmm.
fitness, man. You know what I'm saying? It's all in getting you in shape and making you better. Man, we can sit here and we can talk about how the police are killing black people. We can sit here and we can talk about how black people are killing each other. Man, it's still the number one cause of death in the black community is high blood
Yep.
pressure, hypertension, heart disease. And all that comes from us not taking care of ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So eating right, working out, man, and if you got the opportunity to prevent an early grave or prevent an early death, why? Why not do it? Turn it
Yeah,
around,
that's it,
man.
man. Control the
Um,
controllables. Like,
exactly.
Like,
exactly. And if you can control that, man, if you can control, you need to get that on a t-shirt. I like that. Control the controllables. You know, I
yeah,
like that.
yeah. So
But man, if you could do that, then why not? You know, so many people, man, have left this earth or whatever without even fighting for a chance. If you got the chance, you got the opportunity to change it. Why not do that?
yeah,
Fight for it, man. You know, and so that's basically what it is. Like I give my clients, I tell everybody that when they come in, dude, I'm gonna give you 100% of me, 150
right,
percent of me. So you got access to me all time. You can call me, text me, inbox me, or whatever. I'm gonna get back to you. You know, but I need to see at least 100% of you.
mm,
Like, fight
right.
for what you want. You know, if you fight for what you want, man, I'm gonna make sure that you get what you need.
That's it.
I'm gonna make sure you get what you need. You just gotta fight for what you want. And so with the mud runs and the walks and the stuff like that, being active in the community or whatever, man, that's just our way of saying that um, TWBB is gonna be here to stay for a long time. Not only is it gonna be here to stay for a long time or whatever, that's our way of
Right,
giving back to all the charities or whatever, man. It's our way of letting folks know that hey, um, this brand is not just your average fitness center. Like this is one that really cares. This is one that's really gonna be behind you, and whatever your dream is for your fitness journey, hell, I'm gonna try my best to help that come true. You know, so it's just man, have
right.
fun with it.
Well,
Have
and
fun
and
with it, man.
you've been very clear on driving this point home, and be yourself. Like you're gonna stand out. Like you've been created for a purpose, and you have a
Mhm.
certain style, a certain way you do business, a certain way you act that's unique from everybody else around you. So drive that
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's what's gonna make you stand out from everybody else.
Marvin. We was in high school, dog. We stood out from everybody else.
Right, right, absolutely.
We made sure that then, didn't we?
You're absolutely right.
Stood out from everybody else.
But that's good, man. But that's like
We
we got to teach people how to leverage that now. Yeah. So,
yeah, yeah,
we was
yeah.
doing it for
We
another
never
reason in high school.
we were. And you think about it, everybody wanted to be like us. We didn't want to be like nobody. You think about that. Everybody wanted to be like us.
So,
I've always been that way, man. In life, bro, I just always feel like, man, be yourself. And, don't ever go into nothing, man, where somebody is looking at you and they saying, "Oh, you trying to be the next this, or you trying to be
right.
like this person." No, I ain't trying to be like that person. That person is imitating me. They want to be like me,
Yep.
you know,
Yep.
because imitation is the biggest form of flattery. So if you imitate me, I'm flattered
That's
by it.
it.
I don't look at it like you stealing. I don't look at it like you biting or whatever, man. I'm just thankful that I could be the inspiration behind whatever it is that you
That's
want
it,
to do in
man.
life.
Absolutely. So,
You know?
all right, man. Let's move on, man. We could be on this all day.
Yeah.
uh, two pieces, like two questions. Like one, on the sports side, like what advice would you give, like a kid in high school, kid in college, based on your experiences, as far as what they need to do to prepare themselves, expectation wise, political side, when it comes to sports? What advice would you give like a high school student now?
High school student now, man, playing sports or trying to come out, I would tell them, man, for one, stay humble. Stay humble and stay hungry. You know, um, stay humble in the fact of not allowing your head, regardless of how good you are, you can always be better. So work hard or whatever, man, and stay humble in the sense that don't ever let nothing that nobody says to you or about you get in your head and throw you off of what it is that you're trying to do.
Right.
Um, Stay hungry, and the reason why I say stay hungry, man, is because you got to have that mentality of outwork everybody.
Mm.
And you know what I'm saying, and don't ever let fatigue make a fool out of you. You know, fatigue has a strong way of making a fool out of us, man. When we get tired, we tend to
Yeah,
want to give up, or we tend to want to quit. But when you get tired, that's when you need to push the most. You know, so if it don't challenge you, it won't never
yeah.
change you.
That's it,
Push,
man.
man.
Hey.
That would
Don't
be
don't
my
let
advice.
fatigue make a fool out of you. Now that's your T-shirt. Do you?
I
Do
got a
you?
T-shirt that say that.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
yeah,
right. And
yeah.
on, I guess the other question, like on the entrepreneur side, like what advice would you give somebody that's afraid to step out, you know, looking to, kind of spread their wings and be on their own and not work for somebody else?
What I would tell somebody, man, if you want to be an entrepreneur, step out on faith. And when you step out on faith, you pray, you put everything in the hands of the Lord, man. And once you put everything in the hands of the Lord, you step out on faith and you
Do the
do the
work.
work.
You can't miss out on the
And,
work,
and
right?
exactly, do the work because once you got to have that faith, man. That faith, the size of a mustard seed, and when you step out on faith, you betting on you. You betting on you, and you pray about it and you move forward. And don't let nothing or nobody stop you or say what it is that you can't do or whatever, man. Like it's gonna be family members, that's gonna be against you. When I first opened the gym and I first started training, dog. Well, she's my ex-wife now. We was married at the time. My own wife didn't believe in me.
Wow.
She didn't even want me to do this. Like, dude, she literally gave me an ultimatum and told me that I had 3 months, and in 3 months' time, if nothing comes from it, I need to think about going back to selling cars, or I need to think about getting a
Mm,
real job. So if you're you can't expect somebody else to want for you what you want for
right.
yourself. So if you're gonna dream,
Right.
dream big and keep pushing and keep pushing. Don't get mad or discouraged when that person who claimed that they love you the most tell you that they don't believe in your dream.
Well, it's your dream. It's not their dream.
Exactly. Because what's
Right.
for you is for you, you know, and work in
Mm,
silence. Everybody don't need to know
that's
what the
good,
hell you
man.
got
That's
going
good
on.
right there. That's good.
You know what I'm saying? Work in
Hmm.
silence, dog. Like nobody need to know what the hell it is that you got going on. Let them
Right.
see it.
Okay.
Let them see
Ooh, all right, man. Hey, know some nuggets.
it. you
Know
know?
some nuggets. All right, let's
Yeah.
couple quick hitters, man. And we'll wrap it up, man. So, what's
All right.
like what's the most like memorable fit villain testimony that you have? Like the one that just stands out, amongst all of them.
Uh It would probably be, man, having clients come to me telling me how um, they no longer have to be on their blood pressure medication. Coming off of blood pressure medication, coming off of all of, um, they're no longer type 2 diabetic or whatever,
Wow.
man. So that's what I do it for. I do it for that. The whole, not so much of how your body is gonna look or whatever, man. More so for health reasons. Whenever I get people that come in that could barely do a sit up, and now they could
Mm,
do 100, or could barely do a push up, and now they could do, 100 push ups. I got a guy that's in the oldest person in my program right now, 62 years old. This guy named Papa Ride, man. If you see Papa Ride, man, you wouldn't think that this guy was 62. And when he first walked through the door, man, bad knees, bad back, could barely move. And now, outrun guys
mm,
that's in their 20s, outrun guys that's in their 30s, man. So I take my hat off to him for that.
wow.
But that's probably the biggest thing. I love it when people call me or when people come to me and they tell me without your program or whatever, man, I I would probably be
Wow.
lost. You changed a lot in my life,
Wow.
you know, and that's what I
Okay.
do it for, man.
Well, changing lives, man. All right. Does New Year's resolutions really work?
No,
Okay.
not at all. New Year's resolutions don't work or whatever. Um, People who stick to New Year's
All
resolutions
right.
work. You know what I'm saying? Because if you got to be, see, in order for you to decide to get in shape or change anything about your life or whatever, man, you got to first be
Yeah.
fed up with something. And see, if you're not fed up with the way that you look, if you're not fed up with the way that you feel, if you're not fed up with being in poor health, and when I say fed up, I'm talking about like, dude, you got to be like, I'm
Yeah.
done. Like, bruh, I got to change something. If you not fed up to the point to where you ready to change something, it ain't gonna work. You spinning your
Right.
wheels. So I want people to come to me and I want them to be like fed up. This they last result, they last resort, and like I want them to be desperate.
Mm.
Because when you come to me and you desperate, that means that you willing to do any and everything that it takes in order for you to
Right.
change your life.
Mm.
You know. But when you come to me and you ain't desperate or whatever, man, you're gonna go right back to doing what it
Right.
is that you're doing.
Okay.
You
No,
know.
that's good, man. What advice would you give somebody that's looking to get into personal training?
uh Getting into personal training, man, what I would tell them is that right now, personal training is hot. But it's almost like walking down the aisle of the grocery store, the bread aisle in the grocery store. You got all these different breads or whatever on that aisle. People gonna buy what they like. And you gotta understand that you may not be for everybody. And that's good. Cause you don't want to be for everybody. You want to be for the ones who want to be for you. So understand that if you're getting into it for the money, that you're getting into it for all the wrong reasons. You know, if you're gonna get into it, man, get into it because your heart is in the right place and you're looking to help people. Get into it because and then the money will come. It'll come. But you gotta be like you gotta be right within your mind and you gotta be right within your heart and you got to be willing to say, well, hey, I'm doing this because I really want to make a change and I really want to help people, not because I'm just out here trying to make money or get over on somebody because you'll be here today and gone tomorrow. But if you really want to get in this and you really want to make an impact and you want to last, then you got to do it because you have a passion for it. You passionate about it,
Right.
you know. And so that would be
Absolutely,
my
man. Good
advice.
advice, man. All right. Moving towards more of a football related question. Since you're repping your 49ers hat, name your
Oh yes,
top
sir.
five San Francisco 49ers of all time. Top five. Top five.
Easy. Easy, easy,
Well, my
easy.
thing, my thing is when you
Jerry
have a
Rice.
program like that, somebody's always gonna get left off the list. But it's your list.
Well, this is my list. Nobody else's list. Jerry Rice, Joe Montana, Steve Young, Ronnie Lott. That's four
That
right there.
is yeah, okay.
That's four.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Number five,
Deion
Deion
Sanders.
Sanders.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Deion had his best year of his life playing in the 49ers uniform.
okay.
Best year of his life.
We're leaving off T.O.
T.O. will never make my all-time 49 list. He'll never
Leaving
make
off
that.
Charles Haley.
He'll never make
Bryant
that.
Young. Not top
Not top
five.
five.
Okay.
Uh-uh.
All right. Okay. That's a good list.
Uh, I
Hey,
mean, you come up with some more
that's your
names,
list, right? Like we said.
but everybody on that list right there, Hall of Famers, baby, and was the best in their
Best in their
position when they
position when
did
they
it.
did. You're right.
I mean, you think about it. Name another
Oh
cornerback
no,
better than Dion.
I ain't even
You
going
can't
there.
find
Now
one.
quarterback, we can have some arguments at quarterback, but that's a different.
We can have some arguments at
Now,
quarterback
right?
now
Yeah, not when he played. Not when he
because of
played
Tom
though.
Brady.
Right. Right.
Because of Tom Brady. That's the only quarterback that I could put
Right.
above Joe Montana.
No. Okay.
And then Steve Young, he changed the game.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He transitioned from being a running quarter, the first quarterback to transition from being a running quarterback to actually becoming a throwing quarterback. And then not only becoming a throwing quarterback, a left hand throwing quarterback that went to the
Right.
Super Bowl and won it.
No. Behind the
Behind
Hall
a
of
Hall
Fame.
of
Now,
Famer.
that's big in itself. So.
You know what I'm saying?
All right. No.
So,
No. Solid,
I
man. Like I
mean,
said, this your
that's it,
five.
man.
All right.
Yeah,
Next
that's
one
it.
was, can San Francisco win a Super Bowl with Jimmy G?
No, no, not at all. Not at all,
What
man.
it?
Not at all. I would love to see it happen. I would love to see it happen, but I think that
Yeah.
ship is sailed. Jimmy G is
Yeah.
he's a babysitter. He's not a quarterback, man. Jimmy G is a game manager. And you can't win a Super Bowl with a game manager. Them days of Trent Dilfer with
Mm-hmm.
the Ravens is over. You know, your quarterback got to be willing to throw the ball downfield and take some risks. If your quarterback is not willing to throw the ball downfield and actually go and get it out the
Mm-hmm.
mud for you, you're not winning the Super Bowl, man. And Jimmy G just don't have that
Right.
type of grit. He ain't
Okay.
built that way.
And your prediction this season, the San Francisco 49ers record this season will be what? Now I think we got 17 games this season, so
Mm-hmm. Out of 17 games, I'm gonna say no. We got 17 weeks.
we got
We got 17
they
games or
added the game
16.
this year. So it's gonna be
17.
18. It's gonna be 18
Okay,
weeks, but it's gonna be 17 games.
17 games. I'm gonna say 11 and
Okay.
6. 11 and 6 or 12 and 5.
I mean that NFC
Yeah,
West is gonna be tough. So you don't think so?
not really.
I think the Rams are gonna be
Nah,
better with Stafford there.
no sir. Stafford sucks, man. People don't want to admit to the fact that this dude sucked, dude. I had a conversation with a dude, and it's crazy you bring him up. I had a conversation Friday. I was in Dallas, and this dude was talking about Matt Stafford or whatever, and I'm like, dude, he sucked. He's the poor man Brett Favre.
Well, I
He
don't
is
think
a
he's gonna be worse than
gunslinger.
golf. I don't think he's gonna be worse than golf.
Golf. In my opinion, I really don't think golf was
I don't
just
think so.
all
That's what I'm
that
saying. I think
bad.
him and Stafford were pretty close. I didn't understand the trade. I'll say that. I didn't get the
I didn't
trade,
either.
but
I didn't either. But I think that Stafford is he take chances, but he take chances and they don't pay off.
well, I mean, he was in Detroit,
You
man. You
know,
got to chop that up to
and
some of it.
man, whatever, man. This dude just, I
Well, and
mean,
as I
we'll
say,
see.
Arizona's gonna be better, and
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Now they
they'll be
should
better.
be.
I think
They should be.
they added a receiver.
The
Yeah,
Seahawks is
Seahawks will be tough.
yeah.
Um,
The C um
yeah,
the Seahawks was iffy last year,
but that's what I
man.
say. They can
It depends.
split. I mean, they'll go home and
Yeah,
home. I think, man, they'll still be tough.
yeah. I don't think that it's the toughest division in football
Okay.
no more. Uh, it's gonna be,
Yeah,
it's gonna be something
that's
to
why they
see.
play the game, right?
You know, yeah, it's gonna be something to see. I mean, man, I think that a lot of stuff is gonna change, man. The NFC South is gonna be different.
Oh yeah,
Um,
AFC North
I think,
definitely. You know,
yeah, now that's gonna be a division to watch. That's gonna be one to watch. I think that that's gonna be probably that. It may be the best division in football
yeah,
this year. Yeah,
yeah,
the AFC
absolutely.
North. Um, and then I still think that the NFC East is gonna be
Oh yeah,
still
that
suck.
ain't. Yeah,
They still
that
gonna
ain't.
suck,
That's not
man.
changing.
Their
Not at
division
all.
is yeah, that's dirt right there.
Right. All right.
That's
And
dirt.
last question, man. Who would you like to see next on the podcast?
From
Anywhere,
Southwood, from when we
anywhere.
was in
It doesn't have. It could be anybody. You could pull one of your BT guys,
Oh,
somebody from anywhere.
man, put 4-5 on the podcast, man.
We gotta catch up with him.
Yeah.
We gotta catch up with 4-5, man. I'll see if he'll be willing to come on. We'll reach out to him.
Yeah, hit him up, man. Put him on the podcast. If not 4-5, man, let me see. What about Crystal, man? Crystal Jackson.
We'll definitely reach out to her. I think I spoke with Dre last week, and he said he might be able to get in contact. So we'll see if we can get it worked out.
Yeah. Has Jamal been on her?
Jamal maybe about 5-6 weeks ago.
I gotta go back and see it then.
Okay.
But yeah, probably 4-5 or Crystal Jackson. I think Crystal Jackson probably has some interesting stories to tell, man.
Okay.
You know. Interesting
Well, all right,
stories.
man. Well, tell the people where they can find you, man, before we get out of here.
I am at 9839 Juella Avenue, man. You can come TWBB Fitness Center. It's located right across the street from the old South Park Mall. In the shopping center with California Nails and Metro PCS. And 2 doors down from TWBB from the fitness center, you have Synergy Reloaded. You can come in, get your energy teas, get your healthy protein meal replacement shakes or whatever. So come in, check me out. We got weekly specials or whatever, man, on the energy teas, on the protein shakes or whatever. TWBB train with Black Bane. You could come in, man. I do personal training and I do the group fitness classes. So if you're looking for a personal trainer, you're looking for somewhere you can come work out, get in shape, and then afterwards come and you can get your nutritional feel. Just hit me up. I'm a one-stop shop, man. One-stop shop.
And we'll make sure we get the information for Synergy Reloaded and TWBB in the bio, and I'll put some information in the beginning of the podcast so everybody can have access or click on the link or something to get to it. So, but all right, man.
Yeah.
All right, man. There is the Black Bane himself. But man. Thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate your time.
Man, appreciate you. Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you for listening to the More Than Sports Podcast. Please like, subscribe, and set your notifications so you can be up to date on new content. Also, if you have a story you'd like to share, please reach out to us at mystory@morethansportspodcast.com.